We're good.
Thank you. All right, so today on our call for Child Abuse Prevention Month, we are going to talk about the opportunities you all have in your communities. For leadership, we're going to go through the tools that we have built out and made available to you all. And we're also going to talk about SE Parents and Find Help, which is a really important tool that we've been using the past couple of years. And Brittany's going to go through that. And we'll have an opportunity to ask questions, but I encourage y'all that if you have a question as we go through here or want to add something to the conversation, please jump in, raise your hand, put something in the chat. We do want this to be as interactive as we can make it. So with that, Brittany, you can go ahead and advance. One of the things I think is always good for us to come back to and touch on is, why do we do CAP Month? Why do we care about talking once a year about child abuse prevention? Well, one of the most important reasons is we want to raise awareness about that, but we want to raise awareness so that everyone can see their role in preventing child abuse and neglect. So we're talking to the general public, service providers, decision makers, because we want to build that responsibility around prevention. And we all know that prevention is not just the job of your organizations or the Department of Social Services. It's the responsibility of everyone. Families have to have the well-being and the context in their communities in order to give their kids that opportunity to thrive and have happy childhoods. And we know that a lot of our families need better supports, may not have the tools and resources they need in order. They may not have been parented the same way that they want to parent their kids, and they want to break cycles that they perhaps may not find as healthy as they should be. So that's the other reason we do CAP Month, is how do we connect families to supports in their communities? So some of this is just getting our names out there and having an event with a family so that a family knows, or a family can connect into helping their community. The third one then is building that connected community. We want you all to be well connected too. We want the faith community to be well connected to the diaper bank, so that when someone comes in and needs help with some of those just basic supports, they know who to call. Because the better connected we are, I always like to think of it as a net. The better connected we are, the tighter the net is, so that when a family falls into that net, they don't fall through the cracks. So that's another really big opportunity we have with Child Abuse Prevention Month. But all that comes down to you all being those authentic community leaders. And where is your place? Where's your place in that spectrum of services and that continuum of services in your community? And how do you use CAP Month to really highlight that authentic leadership that you provide? Because none of us have time to pretend to be something that we're not. So if we lean into who we are and what we do, CAP Month is so much easier. So I'm going to share with you some of the things that we've seen across the state in the past few years that we feel like have been super successful. So Children's Place in Aiken, they did an appreciation and prevention information baskets. They got those to community leaders and other organizations that work with kids and families. They did some proclamations in their community, but this was a very natural place for them. This was might not have been easy for them to do, but it was work that fit very, very well with who they are and their place in that community. The next one that we're going to just highlight was the D. Norton Low Country Children's Center. Every year, at least as long as I've had this job, which has been at least a decade, they have multiple locations in Charleston and Mount Pleasant, and they do proclamations with the mayor, and they have these press events that fits with their community leadership. And they do these in multiple jurisdictions. And this is the one last year with Mayor Tecklenburg in Charleston, but they've had them all sorts of different places on the steps of Mount Pleasant Town Hall, and it's been very, very effective. They send out a press release, they generate some media interest, and that fits with their voice and that community leadership. The next one is Thornwell. Last year, Thornwell was introducing the man in the middle. He is their new, I believe they call him president. He was their new president. They had a community breakfast. It was an opportunity to introduce their new president to the community, talk about their prevention work. They had a city council person or a town council person did a proclamation, read the proclamation, but they really did then showcase some of the very deep and meaningful programs that they had. They had testimonials from community leaders. So that was just yet another way that one organization used CAP Month to kind of get to those three things. The last one that we're going to talk about was Richland County First Steps. They partnered with their school district, the sheriff's department, and the diaper banks. They pulled sort of all these community people together, and they reached more than 900 families. They had an event out at a community park in a part of town that they do a lot of work in, and it was hugely successful. Parents came, it was outside. That was very fitting for their constituencies. So they did something that reached directly with parents. We've got a lot of folks across the state that we know have already planned things, and we are excited about what some of our partners are doing and want to now go through some of the messaging that fits with all of that. One of the things that is tricky with child abuse prevention messaging is we're talking about child abuse, and that's a hard topic. It's a painful topic. But when we sort of work to alleviate child abuse and we work to prevent child abuse, we do that through a strengths-based approach. So right there, the messaging is tricky. But we want to, when we talk about child abuse prevention, we want to make sure we're telling that holistic story. And we want to balance out the positive and the negative. And we want to show those protective factors in action. What we don't want to show is the child that's been hurt, the family that's been damaged, because we know, much like you all, and they did a spoof of it in the Super Bowl commercial. When you hear the Sarah McLachlan song come up on a Saturday afternoon talking about animal shelters and animal stuff, what do? You turn away. You're like, I don't want to hear this. And that's what we also don't want to have happen when we start talking about child abuse prevention. We want to pull people into the work, and we want to show them that we can prevent child abuse by layering in these protections for our children and families and communities. The other thing we want to do is create that sense of belonging. All families need help. There is not a family, no matter who you are, that didn't need help somewhere along the way when raising kids. And so we want to destigmatize those messages and those help-seeking behaviors. We also don't want to say it's those families. We don't want to say it's at-risk families, because it's all families and everyone needs help. And we want to meet people where they are so that we are creating that sense of belonging with our messaging. Again, we want to build that community responsibility. Prevent Child Abuse America uses the phrase, and we use it as well, that prevention happens in partnership. And everyone can make a difference, from your neighborhood to the state house. And no matter where you are on the continuum, everybody has a role to play. And so we want to also show what you want to have happen. So be thinking about the images that you use. You know, and we fall victim to this. So I'm not, our house, we're not perfect here either. But sometimes when we just show kids, we just show kids. And who's responsible for child abuse prevention? It's not the kids. It's the families and communities. So be thinking about that message and showing your work and children and families in context with their communities, because we also want to show that rich diversity of your communities. You know, it's not all about one demographic or one family. It is, how do we sort of show the diversity across the board in our social media messages and our emails and that sort of thing. These are just some very, very high level considerations. One thing I do want to point out, and we'll put this on the website, is there's also a messaging matrix that was developed by the Children's Trust Fund Alliance. South Carolina worked on that matrix, but that's also just a good communications checklist. If you're really thinking through your communications work, and how you can sort of just a litmus test of, am I doing this or am I not doing this? Some things may be a trade-off. It's hard to get good photos. So we'll make that available for you all. The other thing that you'll hear about a lot are pinwheels for prevention. And so when we talk about the symbols of Child Abuse Prevention Month, we do use the pinwheel symbol, and the pinwheel, for many of you all know that the pinwheel is that symbol representing the happy, healthy childhood that we want every child to experience. We want them to be able to play and enjoy life and be able to, that is the symbol that Prevent Child Abuse America uses. One of the things that we have seen in recent years with Prevent Child Abuse America is we're sort of, and this was by design, they're sort of loosening up on using the exact pinwheel. So for us, it's whatever pinwheel works, use a pinwheel. What we don't want folks using is the symbol of the blue ribbon. The blue ribbon is symbolic of children that have died at the hands of abusers. And while we don't want to while we don't want to forget those that have perished, we want to lead with the message of what we're doing now, which is actively working in communities to help families. So again, it's balancing out those messages, but the symbols are important. So one of the things that we are not doing this year is providing pinwheels. We're trying to get a link so you all can purchase pinwheels directly from the folks that we purchased from. I think this is a shift for Prevent Child Abuse America in that they've always sort of let us be the pinwheel provider. Well, we would like to step out of that role because honestly, we'd rather provide you all the messaging materials at no charge, because we feel like getting those materials in parents' hands is the most important thing. There are plenty of places you can purchase pinwheels, Oriental Trading, Amazon. Like I said, whatever pinwheel works for you, we encourage you to use it. So any questions on that before we roll into the tools? All right. So we are again this year using the theme of Be a Champion for Children. We learned that we used that last year. We felt like it was successful. It had another year in it. And so this year we are again, it is again Be a Champion for Children. And it doesn't matter where you are in that spectrum or along that continuum, everybody can be a champion. And champions can do many different things. They can read with a child, they can donate to your agencies, they can advocate for you at the State House, they can fix lasagna for the family down the street. So it's Be a Champion for Children, and our parents can be champions, you all are champions. And so we felt like this was a theme that continued to resonate with us. We got positive feedback on it last year, and we are using it again this year. All of our materials this year will be on scchildren.org Cat Month. So we just published an updated webpage today. We're very sort of got to the finish line for this, but there you'll find the PDF toolkit, downloaded materials, including the proclamations, news releases, and we'll have a lot of other links and materials for you, just continuing to post those. This is where we are sending folks to. But we're also going to be sending our parent messaging. We'll be sending folks to our parent website of SC Parents. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So just if you have not ordered your materials, today is the deadline because we got to get those orders to the shipper, the printer and the shipper. The shipper is targeting to ship those in mid-March. So in your boxes here, we'll go through what's in the box. We've got parent tips. We've got information about recognizing and reporting child abuse and neglect. We've got the Post-it notes. We'll do the pinwheel lapel pins, and then we've got some posters for you to put up in your break room or on your door. There will be separate delivery for the yard signs. The reason is the yard signs just don't fit in the box. So we're going to have yard signs here in our lobby. We will in a checklist. So if you're not in our offices, we will be getting those. Someone will be delivering or shipping those signs to you. Just know we want you to have those by that last week in March, so you can put those up in your areas. Our updated materials this year, we had pulled together a group, and I see a couple of those folks on the call here today. We pulled together a group of folks that work closely with parents, and what we heard was that the booklet was great, but it was a little obtuse, and that it was just a booklet. So what we've done this year is we have a series of bookmarks that's just grounded in the protective factors. So know how to find help for your family, love and accept your child, be strong and flexible, know how children grow, and have friends and positive relationships. So these are just full of very, very specific tips. They'll be packaged so that, back up 1 second. They'll be packaged so that one color is all together, so you can put them together as a stack of 5, or if you're working with a mom that you feel like is particularly isolated and you want to help her think through how to build some positive relationships, or somebody might be working through anxiety and stress, you can just work with them on that one thing, and then identify some specific strategies on some actions that might help them in their work. We have not made these CAP month specific because we want you to be able to use them year round. You have them for CAP month, but they don't say April is Child Abuse Prevention Month for that reason. The other thing that we did this year is we have made most of our materials bilingual, so that English on one side, Spanish on the other. That's some of the additional feedback that we got on materials, that it's just easier to have it all in one rather than trying to have a Spanish stack and have an English stack. So we want to make this as flexible as we want to make this as easy for everyone to deal with. We also end up with stacks of stuff, and then we're trying to manage, well, that's the Spanish stack and that's the English stack. So, all right. Again, these are our most popular item. We're doing the positive Post-it notes again. I always chuckle when we get the comment that's like, there's no room for me to write a note. These are not for you to write notes on, except love mom, or so proud of the job you're doing as the kindergarten teacher. But these are notes that you can give to kids. You pull them off and you put it on their window, or you put it on their book bag on their way out the door. It's just good positive messages and things that just another way of us showing our kids that we love and appreciate them. All right, we've updated our recognizing and reporting content. This is just good stuff. People need to know how and where to report child abuse. Again, we want to reiterate to everyone, and this is opportunities for you, a call about abuse and neglect is a suspected call. If you're suspecting stuff, it doesn't mean that you're automatically taking that child away from their family. But it does mean that DSS might need to intervene to connect that family to resources and to get them some help. So, and people can report anonymously. But DSS just has to have enough to know what to do and where to follow up. So you can't call and say, hey, I saw this mom in the grocery store. You gotta be able to say this mom lives here, and I think this family might need some help. So just the common signs and things. We have a messaging toolkit that we have posted on the website. Again, not printing these out because y'all need these before the materials get there. But this is just, it's got messaging hints. We'll have social media. We've got the proclamation stuff, ideas for community involvement, help ideas for supporting families if you're looking at doing that community event. We've also got some find help information out there in the sample news release. So every year, the toolkit becomes a very, very important thing. It's also how we measure success of CAP month, because how many partners download that toolkit tells us that people are standing with us and interested in this work. The other thing that we're focusing a lot on this year, and hope you all will do this, are doing a proclamation in your municipality. One of the things that we wrangle every year is, and this happened last year, is we'll end up with multiple proclamations in a county. And what we'd like to do this year is to coordinate that a little more so that if there are going to be several in, let's say, Lawrence, we think it is a better, we'd like to coordinate that. That's not saying we have to, but we've got a form and we'll ask you to just, it's linked on the website. If you could just let us know, hey, we want to do a proclamation in Lawrence, then we'll put you together with the other folks that maybe have said, hey, I'm interested in doing a proclamation in Lawrence. What that will give us, though, is that if you all are standing together as a community, you're going to show that united front. And you then become more than just one or two agencies working to stand in the gap to prevent child abuse. You are standing with all your community to say, hey, we are a force to be reckoned with, because we are the folks that really are on the front lines working with kids. And so that's the message we want to send with our proclamations this year. We've got the proclamations. You'll be able to download those. We've updated them. We've updated the messaging this year. It was time for an update. You'll be able to add your county level data. We've got those links so you can see exactly the number of kids that were caught up in an investigation, and you can know how many children were in founded investigations. And then on the back end, we ask that you share your photo on social media and with Children's Trust. It is just that great visible way for you all to show leadership to your leaders. So we hope everyone will work on a proclamation. We're going to be tracking it. We're here to help. We can provide folks to come with you. We can give you talking points. So this is something we're really focusing on this year. We had a lot last year, but we know we can get more this year. Any questions on proclamations? All right. And with that, I am going to turn it over to Kara Anderson, who is our communications manager.
Thanks, Bet. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to talk with you about social media. So social media is an important tool during CAP month. It's a great way to spread awareness about prevention and connect with your community. In past years, Children's Trust has created and given partners across the state social media graphics and captions, so that we were all essentially posting the same thing throughout the month. We're pivoting this year to giving partner organizations and advocates social media templates. So we're doing this because we know customized posts perform better across social media platforms, and it's also a more meaningful way to showcase the work that y'all are doing, that your organization's doing, and that the people in your community are doing. The templates still follow the Be a Champion for Children campaign theme, so there will be consistency for folks across the state using these templates. All right, so I want to actually do a quick demonstration. Some of y'all might be familiar with Canva. This is how we're doing these templates. It's a quick and easy online free design program. You do not have to be a designer. And so we've tried to make it as easy as possible. Let me share my screen real quick. All right. Y'all should see that. So to access these templates, go to the same website that Bet mentioned, just scchildren.org/CAP month. Scroll down to where you see share prevention messages. So before I get into the demonstration, I want to let you know that the instructions that I'm about to share are also in the toolkit PDF. That's also on this website page. So I'm going to start by just clicking on one of the templates. Each one of these 7 links are a template. You can see a preview over on the right-hand side, but I'm going to start with the very top one, the Spotlight template. So I click it, and then you can see Children's Trust is sharing this design with you. You can see a preview of the design. Then you just click the purple button, Use Template. And then it's going to ask you to either log in or create an account. You can create a free account by clicking sign up with your work email, or if you already have an account or your organization already has an account, you can log in here. So I'm going to log in via Google. Logs me in and brings me directly to the template. So there are a couple important things that I want to note as I do this. And again, all this is in the toolkit PDF on the website. But you can see it's a pretty simple template. And there are a couple things that you're going to change. Everything else stays the same. So this box right here says delete this text and place your logo here. So I'm just going to click it and then click that little trash can to delete. And then I'm going to go over to this portion on the left-hand side. So you can see there are a lot of components, but it's pretty easy to use. And for this design, for these templates, you really only need a couple steps. So we're going to go down here to upload. So you can see I already have some things in my library, but I'm going to upload a couple files. One, I'm going to upload, first I'm going to upload the logo that I want to use, which I'm just going to use a Children's Trust logo. And then it loads into my library. I'm going to click it. I'm going to just shrink it right there, then drag and drop down into this section. And then for this picture, this is what I'm going to change to make it custom to my community or a picture that I like better. So I'm going to trash it. And then I'm actually going to upload another picture. This is a picture of one of our partners, some folks who came to our conference. But this is an opportunity to either highlight folks in your organization like that, or you can also use a photo from the stock library in Canva. So that is down on the left-hand side in the photo section. Then you can just search, whatever you want. So I'm just going to do kids. And then there are free photos where you can do the same thing. You just drag and drop. Like that. And then you download. So you go over to the right-hand corner and push share, and then go down and download. You got a PNG. There are different file types, but PNG or JPEG are what you want to go to for online use. Click download, comes to your download folder. I'm gonna click it, then y'all can see. Can y'all see that? Or is it just showing the window? Okay, yeah, so you can see the final product. So these templates are something you can do, or if you have a communications person on staff, you can share this with them. But I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and Brittany, will you share the presentation again? Before I move on, though, I wonder if anyone has any questions about the social media templates.
Good morning, this is Tanya. I jumped on later. Apologize. You're going to send out the links to the Canva. Is that what you said you're going to do?
Yeah, so the links are on the website page,
Gotcha.
the Cat Month website page with all the other materials for Cat Month.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Yep, and then the instructions to use the templates are in the toolkit PDF, which is also linked on the website.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, any other questions? Cool. All right, so there are some other ways you can use social media during Cat Month and connect with us, Children's Trust, and also the larger national Cat Month campaign during April. So you can tag us in your posts. You can reshare our posts. You can save our posts, comment, like, or message us in our content. We love sharing your posts and connecting with you. We try to be super active on our partners' accounts during Cat Month. Our aim is to educate and inspire and raise awareness on our social media accounts during April, and sharing y'all's stuff is one way to showcase what's going on, at a local level. So be sure to follow us. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. And then another important component to the online Cat Month campaign are hashtags. So you can see there's 4 hashtags on the slide. The Champions for Children hashtag is the Be a Champion for Children campaign hashtag. So you can use that on any of your posts to populate your content with others who are using that hashtag in South Carolina. There's also the Child Abuse Prevention Month hashtag and Cat Month hashtag. And those are universal hashtags during April that folks across the nation use. And then the Wear Blue Day 2023 hashtag is, or can be used leading up to Wear Blue Day and on Wear Blue Day, which is March 31st. We have a couple more customizable materials based on some feedback we received last year. We have created a 8.5 by 11 flyer template that you can customize and print out for your Cat Month events or activities. And we also have created a t-shirt design that you can use. We're not printing flyers or t-shirts for partners, but we want to give you all these designs in case you need a starting point. The instructions on how to use both of these templates are in the toolkit at scchildren.org/catmonth. Does anyone have any questions before we move on? Cool. Brittany, take it away.
Sorry, took me a few minutes to find my unmute button. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you guys about SC Parents and Find Help. So this really started a few years ago as a partnership with the Department of Health and Human Services, and we wanted to promote prevention and increase child and family well-being by creating an easily accessed database of social services in our communities. So we really wanted to make it easier for families who were looking for those resources, have a place that they could easily find them. So to do that, we partnered with an organization called Find Help. So Find Help does this across other states, and they did this for us as well. So it is a free online platform that allows families to find and connect with local free and reduced cost services. So this makes it easy for South Carolina families to look for those resources in one place. So essentially they can go to scparents.org and there is going to be a search bar and they can type in their zip code and it's going to bring up localized resources in that area. So if they're looking for employment, if they're looking for food, transportation, whatever it is, they can go search for that and they have it all in one place. So in addition to this being a house of resources, this is also an electronic referral tool. So we use it as a referral network. So through this platform, community-based organizations in South Carolina can refer their customers to other resources. So we often know that if a family needs help with one thing, it's very likely they need help with something else. So we're really trying to close that loop so that we don't have families falling through the gap and we can close that network referral loop. So as part of this, and again, this was a partnership with DHHS, we created what we call as 2 doors to this database. So we have what we call the no wrong door policy, which is we want to make this easily accessible and easily so that people can find it very easily. So the more doors we have to this house of resources, the easier it is for people to find it and access it. So our 2 doors, our Children's Trust is scparents.org, and then DHHS has one on their site called Community Connections. So they look a little different. So they're branded by the site that they're on, but it's the same information. So if you are to change program information on one, it's going to reflect that change in the other. So there's no different or additional information on one or the other. It's the same place. So let's see. With this, we created a South Carolina network and nationwide directory. So you'll see some numbers on the screen. It lists local programs, state programs, and national programs. So this number has changed a little bit between local, state, and national. It's well over 6,000 programs now. And what we're aiming to do is get more community-based organizations to use the platform. So there is a feature we call claiming your program. So if you are a community organization and you have resources that you offer at a free or reduced cost services, we are encouraging you to do what we call claim your program. And so as a nonprofit organization, this would give you access to a free suite of tools and allow you to access that referral network. So with findhelp, we offer free virtual trainings. So this is a very quick overview. I'm being very conscious of time. This is a quick overview of this, but there are a lot of free tools that you could use that we want you to take advantage of. So findhelp has a team that offers free virtual trainings. The next one is going to be Tuesday, March the 7th. And they do this every month. So it's the first Tuesday and the third Tuesday. So it's a 2-step webinar. If you just need the basics of how to use it, you can do the first introduction to findhelp training. And then if you want to learn more how to use those tools and the benefits of claiming your program on this platform, then navigating your free suite of tools would be a good opportunity for you to learn that. So I've included the links on here, but I will also mention that the toolkit also features a very detailed document that has 2 pages, just what you can do to claim your program and the benefits of it and kind of your role in findhelp and how we get this information out to families who are looking for it. On the other end, we would just love for you to share this resource to families that you work with. So again, it's just scparents.org. It's free to use, it's free to navigate, and it's all private information. So it's a really great way for people to find what they're looking for. I think this is you, Bev.
Yeah, I'm just going back to findhelp real quick. One of the other things that we liked about findhelp, and it's all of y'all have been in the business where you've done a list of resources to get them to parents. Well, the list of resources is only as good until someone leaves or a program changes. One of the things that findhelp invests in as an organization is continuous updating of those programs and making sure that contact information is up to date. So once someone gets in, claims their program, they then will spend they'll on a frequent basis, they will update that, seek out your current information. So for us, it's that it solved that problem of how do we keep it updated? You know, we can build it and then they will come, but then how do we keep it current? So another feature in the findhelp database that's very helpful is that it easily translates into other languages, like hundreds of other languages. So if you have a family that maybe English is not their first language, and it's not Spanish, maybe it's Chinese. They're also they do the technology is such that there's you can click a button and it'll show up in whatever languages you need it to. So that's one of the things we really like about that technology. It's also very affordable for us in the state. Just a real quick recap of some of the key deadlines. If you haven't ordered your materials, today is the date. We're going to start distributing yard signs. We hear they're coming into our office today, but we'll start distributing those yard signs at the end of February. Mid-March, your materials are going to ship. So be looking for that box. Wear Blue Day is the 31st of March. It was a big discussion with the other child abuse chapters across the nation because, well, there are 2 things. April 1 is a Saturday. They felt like, well, it's a Saturday. And then should it be the next week? I believe that was Good Friday. And so everybody just sort of said, well, let's just kick off Child Abuse Prevention Month on the 31st, which is a Friday. So encourage you all to post your pictures and do your Wear Blue stuff. Wear Blue Day. We're going to get it. We'll have a team picture of us, and we're excited about that. Also, on April 19th will be a National Digital Advocacy Day, where we're hoping that folks will reach out to their legislators and talk about why children and families are so important. And there'll be more information to come as we learn more about Digital Advocacy Day. So want to recognize our big statewide Cat Month sponsor is Molina Healthcare and their community brand, Molina Cares. We do thank them a lot for all they do. They love to do community events and get the word out with their families. So if you've got opportunities for them to reach families about their services, let us know. We'd be happy to put you in touch. And then we have other sponsors that also make this work possible. Our other sponsors are Dominion Energy Foundation, Deloche Family Foundation, the Francis Bunnell Foundation, Prisma Health, AFL Global, Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina, Find Great People, and Spartanburg Regional Healthcare System. We do thank those partners for their support of this work that makes this work possible for you all. So, and with that, I just wanted to see if anyone had questions. All right. With that, I will let you know that we're also trying to make it very, very easy for you to get in touch with us. There's one email that we're all going to check this month, and it's communications@scchildren.org. You can reach any of us there. We all got it loaded on our computers. So if you've got questions or you need help or something's not working like you thought it should, we are here to help you, and would love to hear your great work and your all that you're doing. So with that, I will say thank you, and we look forward to seeing the great stuff coming for Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Okay, thanks.